my name is James, and today I'm here to talk about my story. Well, I come from a family in China near Beijing, but it's a big difference from Beijing, which is not that big and not that rich. My family are basically made up by me, my mother, and my father, whereas my father is the only one who's working in the family. And I really want to talk about the issue of the so-called American dream, or I want to call it the pathway of finding your own essential self. The original plan for me, from my father, was that I was going to come here looking for my own passion so that I can create my own career. Well, it's working out for me as well as something is not. So the experience here I've had is quite nice in a form of schooling, education, but once I realized it was the second that I was gonna step into society, I realized there's a lot of, the water is so deep. So, as my father is the only one who's working in the family, he works in the stock market, but he has some physical disabilities and glaucoma and diabetes, all those stuff all together, and he's only 4 feet 10, which is abnormal to see on the street. When I walk with him, everybody was like looking at us all the time, which made it more difficult for him, and I'm always paying full tuition because this international student identity. And we've already paid off for more than $200,000 from the 4 years of high school and 1 year of college. When I think back, or even I'm still in the process, so when I think about it, there's a question, which is it really worth it? Is it really worth it to get that piece of paper at the end of a semester when I graduate from college, paying double of the $200,000 just for that piece of paper? The thing from what I observed is most of the people think that Chinese are all rich, and as long as you can get to America abroad, then which means you must be rich, and it is true a lot of times, but for a lot of people like me, it's not. And when we think about it, it can be a stereotype which stopping us from getting our own careers, because they're gonna set more barriers for us to get our jobs and stuff. Limitations are gonna be more, regulations, and we're gonna have more competitive stuff to show in order to compete with others, especially from people from local, like American people, resident citizens, where we have nothing to show compared to them, and we're typically being recognized as good at things like science and math, business, which I found the reason why is because of competition here. It forces us to go on those fields because Americans are not really good at math or science. Of course, there are people there they are good at, but Chinese people are always more strict to studying all those subjects, which made us more advanced in a sense of knowledge. To looking for a job and make a living in America for people like us, going to business field, financial or math, science would be probably one of the only ways, because we just simply have no choice. We are stereotyped to recognized as good at those areas, which we're expected to do so. And if we do something else, say like follow our passion, maybe art, maybe music, maybe sports, then everybody would think that we're just simply not good enough to do those things, compared to what we should be doing, which is math, science, and maybe stay in the office. I want to be an educator, so an educator of both academically and also into fitness, because I love fitness, I love working out. That's just my personal hobby for now, and then I'll develop this into a career. And for education and academic, I think it's really important um, um, to teach our next generations to learn the right thing. I don't I don't like the word right thing or wrong thing, because I think there's nothing to be right or wrong, but um, to be ethically right is the most important thing. Uh, when you so like as I said, in a society like this nowadays, it's really hard to avoid all those kind of competitions, and within the competitions, there will be some dark sides. Um, but I believe just to keep as clean as you can, as pure as you can, that you can improve the society generally in a better way. That's what I want to do academically, not to just teach kids about math or English, but to teach them what's the greatest way to achieve these life purpose that you want to